Now, many people have been saying stuff throughout what seems like time that you aren't your body, and you aren't your name, and you aren't this, and you aren't that, and you aren't this. Like I would say in the proper way of speaking, the you, that is it, the ego, is your name and is what you think about your name. But the truth about what the I inside of you is has nothing to do with your body or your name. So you know that. So if you really get that, then you realize that those are just the words and what you call yourself and gatherings of the earth and the things you eat. Well, also on top of that, if you realize that you're not your name or your body, that you're the living essence itself, and you really take that to heart and understand it, you realize that there's no such thing as a president. That's just his idea. He's not his name. He's not his body. So there's no president. He's just standing in place. And they're only coinciding with the way we universally think. People over in other countries do have a thought about U.S. and they manifest it too, just supported with what they hear on their secondary hearing system, whatever they tune into about America. Just like someone in America could tune into someone in Australia and see what the Australian news is and know a lot about Australia. But most people are too busy worried about themselves than to really worry about the rest of the world. They just look at the drama and dwell in it. Instead of doing that, don't pay attention to something unless you intend on affecting it. The things I am intending on affecting are everyone and everything. So the only thing I can do is share it with everyone. People are going to ridicule it, but no one really thinks about how much vulnerability a person puts themselves up with to bail out on the world that is malfunctioning to try to save it and actually be an adult and be real about it and not be some kid who's got some hopeful, weird dream. Because this is a real world and I can actually vouch for myself when I talk about things that I experienced. So it's hard to understand that people would either ridicule, doubt, or think somebody was wrong in this situation. And I'm not trying to be right. I'm not RIGHT. I'm not telling people to write rights down and say this is what we have to do. I'm just telling people this is what's RITE, right? Just like I always say, because it's exactly what's going on. Whether people want to face that, and if they can face that, they can have the most blessed life they've ever had. This is where we can change the pace of the game. When you put water on a seed, it grows. If you keep doing the right thing, it grows well. If you keep putting that kind of scenario to your soul and your spirit, and you keep being true to yourself and giving yourself the exact things you need, and to grow, you need to give yourself the right material. If you keep giving yourself the wrong material, you're not going to grow. If you stop letting other people tell you what you're allowed to do, and growing with yourself in the act of love, where you're not going to harm anything, guess what you do? You continue to grow and blossom. You just don't grow in a plant way or a human way. You grow in your spiritual way. I mean, that's the best way I can explain it so that people should easily understand it. So the only way you can do it is to be disciplined on yourself. No matter how much of a truth my experience truly is, you have it too. You're just not going to experience it until you die, and you'll be so stuck in your ego that you'll experience very little of it and come back to another life that comes out of fear and gets totally brainwashed as a child by accident by your parents who are just being the people they are when they have a kid. So it's just hard for people to fathom the depth of who they truly are. And they have to know that they're not their name and body, like I said. So therefore, nobody who's telling you what to do is their name or body either. They just don't get that into their heart. They don't get that even in their mind. They don't even take the time to even think about it because they're too busy playing an ego role that they never have been. They just thought they were. So rise and shine, all you lovely stars.